God, they all look stunning. I can't. Welcome back to the Hunger Games.
Thank you.
One, I've already seen it and my heart was going pitter-patter the entire time. So yeah, good luck everyone. How does it feel being back to something that is so nostalgic to so many people? You know, you're bringing the audience back to Panem. What are you excited for the audience to see? Tell us more.
It's great to be back with the world of the Hunger Games fans, I have to say. It is one of those movies, but it's fresh, it's unique, it's a completely new story, it's a completely new, really super exciting cast, really new themes, new ideas, looks different, super fun to make, and so just great to be back with Nina, with Suzanne, and these guys right here too.
Obviously you love your children, your projects. People don't always love them back. And so, I mean, we're very excited. It's been interesting to hear how many people use the word nostalgia about it and how, you know, it's a reminder of how much these movies have meant to people and these books and how like deeply they've registered with people.
Tom, hello and welcome to the Hunger Games franchise.
Hello, thank you, appreciate it.
How does it feel being a character that exists already, but you've kind of made it your own?
I think not hating him was pivotal in this movie because it is 64 years before and you have to be rooting for him to then feel the heartbreak of when he turns. Spoiler alert. But yeah, I think like for me what was so exciting, like apart from joining a franchise that I've been a fan of since I was like a teenager, was just getting to do like a deep character study and like a psychological deep dive into like what is in my opinion one of the best villains of like movie history, and you know what actor doesn't want to do that, and also try and empathize with someone that you just like shouldn't be able to empathize with, and kind of go to the beginning and like strip it all back.
I mean, you did great because you guys will fall in love with the character and realize, oh my God, I shouldn't be doing this.
And then fall out of love
and
with
then be
him.
like, oh, the snakes.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense. That leads me on to both of your characters. With I don't know if you guys have seen hashtag Snowbird. Yeah, it's a thing. Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that.
There we go. It's Snowbird. It is a thing. People are gonna love the relationship and a lot more that comes out of your two characters. How is it working together on this and building that?
Go on.
Yeah, I'll sit here and I'll compliment Tom. Oh my goodness, I mean, it's chemistry is not something you can fake, which I've said before. I do mean it, and there's a lot of trust that comes with working with someone so intimately in scenes that maybe don't necessarily require an intimacy, but a relationship is intimate, and so getting to play that with Tom was so easy. I trusted him immediately, I was comforted by him immediately, and we became very fast friends, and so getting to develop the relationship between Lucy Gray and Coriolanus just kind of fell into place so easily.
Yeah, and I think also like, second all that by the way, but like, yeah, it's all on the page as well. We've been talking about this today, how like the relationship is so palpable on the page, in the book and in the script, and so we kind of just had the relatively simple task of putting it on its feet, and Francis curated a space where we felt really bold to kind of jump in at the deep end, which we had to because we hadn't met before. Pretty much our first day of filming, we met like briefly, on Zoom and then in person.
And then briefly in person.
Zoom.
Well,
Yeah.
I will say we had the most amazing chemistry tests. Once we decided that both of them were going to do it, we did a Zoom because Rachel was in London, Tom was in New York, I think I was in France, and we put them on the Zoom, and I blacked out my screen, and I had asked Rachel to sing Wildwood Flower a cappella, which is such a beautiful song, especially a cappella, just so I could see her sing to him and watch Tom watch her, and we all knew, and Nina was on the call too, and you could see it instantly.
Like, this is magic.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And that leads me on to the soundtrack. Rachel, the whole time something came out your mouth, I was like, wow, again. Is it 8 tracks?
I think so, yeah.
Incredible work there. Voice
Thank you.
is beautiful. And fan favorite, which is Hanging Tree as well. Is there any particular process you went through or any favorite that you have? Tell us about it.
Oh goodness. I was so happy to learn that the music was going to be in the film. When reading the book, I was hopeful that it would happen, because you never really know. As someone who's worked on musicals before, you want to find an organic way to incorporate music into a story without it seeming like it's taking up too much time or being distracting from the plot. So the way it fit in was so wonderful, and that's a testament to Frances, of course. And Suzanne had such a clear idea of what she wanted all the music to sound like, and we worked with an incredible producer named Dave Cobb to really cultivate this Appalachian, folksy, country sound for Lucy Gray. And my favorite song was the song that Lucy Gray writes for Coriolanus, where she says that she loves him for the first time and says that she trusts him, and it's called Pure as the Driven Snow. And I just loved singing that, and I was so grateful to get to do it and to play guitar for it. And it was just a wonderful experience all around. As someone who loves to sing primarily, it was great.
And she sings live on set. Some of the pre-records, I think, will be on the album, but weirdly, for me, the recording in the studio ended up being rehearsal, I think. But the truth is on the day she sang live in every scene.
Not many people can do that.
No, it's very important to me that you do
Not many
it.
people can do it well.
And act at the
Every
same
time.
time?
Oh, no.
I know a lot of people want to do it. So, you know,
Like, take 355, sing again.
Exactly, and I'll do it. It's so important to me that the sound sounded natural in the space that we were in, because we were in an incredible kind of basement in Duisburg, Germany, and that was what housed the Hob for the Covey to play. And on that stage with the acoustics, getting those live acoustics in the room and getting those live recorded for the film, it really does make a difference.
Josh and Hunter, are you guys fans as well of the franchise beforehand? Is everyone
yeah.
here a fan?
Been a long time
Yes.
fan. Yeah.
From childhood, we've all grown up on
Extremely.
this.
Middle school.
I'm guessing a lot of people. Middle school.
I was not a kid, but I've always been a fan.
How does it feel playing a character where you're kind of on both sides? Was there a challenge? Tell us more.
Felt pretty good. No, I mean, I really admire Sejanus as a character. He has such powerful convictions and principles that are kind of unyielding in the face of so much adversity. You know, he does toe the line of both worlds, but in his heart, he's district. So he has the capacity to humanize people who don't live in the capital the way that people in the capital are subject to so much propaganda that might sway them a different way.
And what were the vibes on set? Some of us have seen behind the scenes. I've been asked to ask. We've seen notes being passed around. We've seen good energy. Tell us more. What were the vibes on set?
I mean, y'all were there way longer than I was. But for the time that I was there, and I came way later than like most of the cast started, so I did feel like I was kind of like walking into a family that had already kind of been a family for a little bit.
I know
but
we actually met in person for the first time at the Midway party.
That's true.
That's right.
You
What
and
was
I,
the halfway
not over
party?
Zoom. It was the halfway party.
Oh,
You
right,
and I
because that
met
was
in
before I
person.
started filming. I
That's
started
right.
filming before the halfway party. Yeah. So yeah, they had done half the film before I came in. But I guess I can't answer it because y'all's vibe had already been like sort of developed and established, and it was a party. Like I don't know. I came to set and it's like huge long rows of trailers like facing each other, and it's like a little like neighborhood like in Edward Scissorhands where everybody like comes out and like says hi to each other, and all the tribute kids were there. It was so cute. It was a vibe. Yeah.
You have these amazing vets, tried and true, amazing actors in Peter Dinklage and Viola Davis and Jason Schwartzman, who led by example, as you've said. And it was amazing to watch and so genuinely loving, and everybody wanted each other to succeed.
And Hunter, fashion icon that you are. The whole world knows you as our fashion icon. I'm going to tell you again. Look at you now. Look at you now, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But obviously, Tigress. Firstly, I personally demand she gets a spin-off because we need to know more about Tigress. We really need it. But yeah, also fashion icon in the film. How do you feel about the costume? I kind of want to get your take on it because costume within the Hunger Games franchise plays a major role.
The costumes, even from the original trilogy, from the movies, I mean, I had my own like imagination version of what everything was when I read the books, because I read the books first. But when the movies came out, I was deeply affected by like how I don't know, especially, I mean, it's like messed up, like the capital people and whatever, but it's like the looks. Like affected me, and I was a capital person for Halloween, just a generic capital person. Yes.
What Hunter was saying, I think a lot of it came from the fact that we were doing sort of a period piece to the original movies. And because we were so close to the end of the war that sort of began the Hunger Games itself, we actually started to look at sort of Reconstruction era Berlin as our inspiration for the look of the Capitol, the rubble in the streets, the rebuilding of classic buildings, the new buildings. But we also, because of long talks with Suzanne, and knew that we had to go, we sort of had to lessen the technology. We had to go to a much more sort of rudimentary state. We started to look at the 40s and 50s in general for technology, for the design of automobiles, for fashion, for hair, for makeup, all of that. And so it sort of just kind of gathered this unified aesthetic because of that.
Rachel, you've mentioned previously as well with the links between Katniss and yourself, and you've mentioned that I love this phrase, and people have been using it ever since you've said it. Lucy Gray is a performer forced to be a fighter, and Katniss is a fighter forced to be a performer.
That's really good.
That's a really good one.
You come up with that?
That honestly,
I thought it was funny because I don't know. I feel like a lot of us have put that together. I just said it out loud, but
can we all just say that in our press, like nothing else?
Just drop the mics
Any
and go.
questions?
Yeah.
That's the
What
answer.
did you think of the costumes? Lucy Gray is a performer.
Forced to be a fighter.
Yeah, I mean, but it was something that stuck out to me after reading the book for the first time when it came out in 2020 is, what I love about storytelling and what we all get to do for a living is the ability to subvert expectations in entertainment. And I feel like a lot of people probably went in reading this addition to this iconic franchise expecting the same but different. And instead you got a very complex villain origin story that starts with someone you really want to root for, and you get a female protagonist that you're unclear of what her motive is the entire time. She keeps everyone on her toes because she's a performer first. She knows how to work an audience and how to, coerce people into being on her side, even though her side is self-preservation above all. So I found it so fascinating, and in a way, it's such an interesting way to link her to Katniss, because Katniss has to kind of call upon her inner Lucy Gray without even knowing it, because she doesn't even know that Lucy Gray existed.
And I guess you also have the other links like the hanging tree and the iconic bow.
Of course.
The iconic bow.
And honestly, in the costume as well, I hand painted on my corset with my rainbow dresses, snakes obviously, but there's primrose and Katniss flowers. So that was like a nice little nod. Yeah.
And I mean, you mentioned Suzanne, and looking at the book this is based on, was there a particular scene that you looked at and you're like, I cannot wait to recreate this on screen?
There's a moment when young Coriolanus Snow has to go into the arena. And as soon as I read that Suzanne did that, I was like, oh my God, she's a genius. Because there's no way you would ever have thought that Coriolanus Snow had to go into the arena himself. And I weirdly feel like ended up being able to sort of visualize it the way that I imagined it as I read it for the first time. But I think that's just a really super exciting moment.
What do you hope the audience take away from this? What do you want for them?
What makes this world and this franchise so important to people, I think, is it starts with Suzanne writing these books where she's asking really big questions about humanity and what makes us tick and what makes us connect or disconnect on like a really big scale, like a societal scale. And for me, it's like, I do this because I want to ask those questions about humanity. Like when I delve into a character, I want to get to the core of what makes them who they are. And Snow is one of those guys who, like, everybody loves to hate him, and they love to hate him because it's like, how can a human be so despicable? And so I guess I hope that, as well as being like deeply entertained, people walk out asking those questions of like, are people born bad, or is it what they have to go through? And everybody has to go through something different. And I just really hope people walk out the door going like, whoa, that hit.
That was me. I think everyone in our screening had to sit for a good 10 minutes and was like, we need to let that marinate for a second.
Yeah, like a surprising amount of people this week have said that out of all the films, they feel like this one, not to like pat us on the back too much, but like, out of all of them, this one feels kind kind of the deepest in terms of the psychology behind it.
This romance is a whole, real or not real component as well. And is it a performance? Is it self-interest? Or is it love? The Snow character, people have different ideas about when he turns. I hope that actually people will come out and be like debating and deliberating. Nobody is pure Songbird or pure Snake. The more we alienate ourselves from each other, the worse off we are.
You know, when we thought this was over in 2015, I think we sort of were both kind of shocked and happy in almost a subversive kind of way, that we felt like weirdly were making these thematic art films that somehow we're connecting to really huge amounts of people. And that's the same thing I hope now, is that people come out asking these questions, but at the same time have been highly entertained and have had the full meal, right? They laugh, hopefully they cry, hopefully they get scared, hopefully they have all of those experiences.